Hi, my name is Jamie and this is video number 7 in a series of videos that I'm doing about my experiences with lucid dreaming, astral projection, and out-of-body experiences. So there are 6 videos prior to this one if you want to check them out. For today's story, I just wanted to document and share the time that I found my dream object. This is something that I took from Reese Jones. He is also on YouTube, and if you're interested in lucid dreaming, you must check him out. He was very impactful for my own experiences. And so the idea is that you would find your dream object in a lucid dream, and I believe that he went even one step further and found it in waking life, the same identical object, which is very interesting. So what I did was I got lucid and did what I normally would do, which is fly. And I flew to space. So this is something that I was doing for a while, is I was trying to fly to space. And when I would get to space, I would usually lose the lucidity quickly because there's nothing to see. So this was towards the tail end of that experiment. And I got to space and I thought to myself, gosh, Jamie, you better do something. You're gonna lose it. And so I just very quickly thought of that idea, and I said, I said, show me my dream object, show me my dream object. And I said it with a lot of conviction, like I usually do. And I felt something building. And all of a sudden, in front of me, what appeared was, floating in space, was a giant sheet of metal. And I say giant, like 20 to 30 feet long. I mean, it was huge. And I'm a little taken aback. I've discussed before, and I think other lucid dreamers can kind of attest to this. There's certain things that seem outside of yourself, and there's certain things that just seem like, you know, coming from kind of your own psyche. And I'm sure there's a whole gambit in between. But for me, this was very much outside of myself, and I felt almost this impactful showing of something. And in front of me, the giant sheet of metal, I watched as all of a sudden it constructed itself into a shape. And I could even hear like the clank, clank, clank of the metal, and it was very powerful, because it was a giant sheet of metal. And so it was a little jolting as I watched this thing being put together. That was the end of that story, basically, is this giant shape. And I will tell you, this was about 5 or 6 years ago, and that's how much of an impact that this had on me. It still sticks with me. And except for the last week, I've been mulling over this experience and really just kind of thinking to myself, gosh, Jamie, you never really did much beyond that with that. And almost taking the knowledge that I have now and kind of bringing it to the past a bit. And all of a sudden this week, I've been dreaming of different shapes. And it's interesting because one dream in particular, I was shown, or I was giving a notebook to somebody, and it was like a workbook, and it said, you know, these are the things that you should work on. And I looked over, and one of the chapters was on sacred geometry. And I realized in the dream that I had no idea what sacred geometry was, and I don't. I've heard of it, of course, but anyways, so I did a little research over the last few days, and what do you know, the shape that I saw is a pretty important shape. And it's I have a printout of what it is, and I don't really know how to pronounce it, but dodecahedron or something like that. This is what I saw as my dream object, and except it was metal, so it was all silver. So yeah, really, really interesting. And I think for me, there's just a huge multi-layer of lessons for myself in this experience. Revisiting things that maybe perhaps happened before and learning from them with the knowledge that you have now. I mean, how incredible is that? And not just knowledge, but maybe just revisiting and bringing your present self to that. But also just, you know, accessing certain things in different ways. And I just think it's so fascinating. So I'm definitely going to be doing some more research on that. And thank you so much for listening.